you think we have inflation now. These idiots are creating the worst inflation firestorm in the history of the world. I mean, the biggest failure of a country in modern times was Greece. Okay? They defaulted on $370 billion. Nancy Pelosi farts $370 billion every day. Hi there.
How's business?
Business is brisk.
Brisk.
Yeah.
How's inventory?
Well, I have lots on order. Every day I go get another shipping notice, and we run out of something every week. And let's say I ran out of kilos. I'm pretty close to being out of buffaloes. We have more of those coming in. I have almost no gold. In fact, I was just about to put some out.
Almost no gold. You're gonna put
almost
out
no gold.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a buffalo for you. See that stack? I have to go through there and see how many buffaloes need to go in that stack. Gold buffaloes.
What stack is that?
Under the box there.
Ooh.
It's tough keeping things in stock, and I sent a lot of gold coins out last week. I still have a few that I have to get in the mail this week, and then it's go find more. And at least the deliveries from the wholesaler are much better than they used to be. So
I'm used to collect coins years ago when I was younger, and I still have a lot of those coins. My father has quite a bit of constitutional that I'll probably acquire or purchase or whatever from him. And I've kind of come back to the coins. I have to admit, though, I do get a little confused. So guidance is definitely important.
First of all, thanks for watching my channel. I appreciate that. And thanks for calling Tim.
You just get a very honest vibe from him when you watch him on your channel. And, that's really important, especially like when you're a woman and you go into the coin shops or the car dealerships or repair places and that kind of stuff. A lot of times, people do try to take advantage of you, and you don't get that feeling from Tim. So.
Well, I do know Tim quite well, and I've seen him transact with other women quite a bit, and he treats everyone with respect and always gives them a fair price. So thanks for calling him.
Yeah.
Yes,
I get that impression.
Especially women. I lost my wife when my kids were very small, but I have 3 daughters.
I'm also getting ready to go in and have open heart surgery next month, or in October. So I'm trying to take some of my money out of the and put it into silver so that my kids have access to it in the event that things don't go well, which I think they'll be fine. But, I'm just trying to be very proactive.
Let me just say that the sovereign coins that I have coming in, that is the Britannias, the Philharmonics, and the South African Krugerrands, are all the same price. The only one that's expensive is the Libertad I mentioned before. But even the Buffaloes, the premium has gone up in the Buffaloes. It's gone up in the 1 ounce bars.
You're talking about on the silver, is that correct?
On the silver, yes.
Yeah. Now, Yankee, you had said that you thought gold was the better way to go as far as trying to preserve that generational wealth sum. I do have 1 gold coin. Would you suggest a second gold coin and then the rest on the silver?
Yeah, if you could swing a little bit more gold, then I would suggest that at this point. That's my gut feeling.
I'm not in a situation where I would have to sell it to survive. So it's really more of kind of like putting it in a bank, so to speak, and have it there in the future if I need it. I'm hoping to live to be 80 or 90. But if not, then it's there for my children.
What we'll do is we'll put it together and get it out by the end of the week.
Okay. If that changes, just give me a call. You have my number.
Hey, Delilah,
Yeah,
thanks again for letting me record this. And I really hope your surgery goes really well and you're back on your feet and feeling great soon.
Well, thank you so much. I can't wait till it's over.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'm going to be just fine.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you for that.
Sure. God bless.
Get ready for SD Bullion's Monster Box sweepstakes that includes 500 Silver Eagles. You could be the next lucky recipient of a phone call like this.
This is Dr. Tyler Wall, CEO of SD Bullion. Well, I'm calling you to let you know that you won the SD Bullion giveaway of a monster box of Silver Eagles.
So click the link below for your chance to win.
How do you feel about that when somebody sends you a check and says, I really don't know?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
Because I always have lots of one thing and gaps in other things. That's the problem.
It would probably be easier for you to have people kind of think through specifically what it is that they want before they send you a check.
Well, all the gold coins I have
Okay.
are destined for specific people,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that I have in stock that I'm holding. And now she wants another gold coin. So
Jerome Powell seems to be ready to go all Volcker on us with interest rates. He's going to beat inflation to a pulp. He doesn't care about markets. He doesn't care about a recession. And sure enough, markets are going down. We're seeing recession fears skyrocket and gold and silver going down.
Okay, I don't want to, give any personal opinions that might pee anybody off, but I wouldn't listen to, let's see.
You try to be tactful
There are
here,
a whole
Tim?
bunch of economists that I wouldn't spend any time listening to. Yeah, it's just that that's the only thing they can think of when you're faced with high inflation. The only thing they can think of. And they go back to what, the Weimar Republic? Is that where they got this economic theory from? Well, all we have to do is raise interest rates until the interest rates equal inflation. What's that going to be, 15 to 20%?
Nowhere near what we're at now.
Solves the problem.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this is not 1980, okay? Paul Volcker has no business being anywhere near a country and advising anybody about economics. And there are a few others.
Well, do you feel the same way about Jerome?
I'm surprised he's given up. He doesn't have any other tools. He's not even considering any other tools. And I'm listening to Larry Summers, another guy that I wonder about his competence. I mean, economic competence.
Yeah, I understand.
But he does know what's going on. But I think he's giving Powell too much slack, because he's smarter than that. And I'm not picking on Larry Summers. He's had a lot of things he said that I question. I think Summers and Greenspan thought the euro was going to become the world's reserve currency in short order, almost immediately from 2002. And that never happened, because the euro is a phony currency like all the other currencies in the world. It's based on nothing. But I wonder about the economic theory, because it's different now than any other situation we've ever faced. And, back in the 1980 timeframe, the individual investor was king. The markets were driven by individuals. Okay, there were no hedge funds. There were very few stock funds. It was the individual investor was making decisions on what to buy and what to sell. That disappeared in the 1980s. With the 1987 crash, it was all individual investors pulling their money out of the stock market. Okay, they mean nothing. Individual investors mean nothing now. Okay, hedge funds can push trillions of dollars every day. Okay, BlackRock says they have $31 trillion under management. I mean, who competes with that? I don't think even Warren Buffett is willing to compete with that.
Getting back to what you said about the tools.
You're going to have to do a lot of editing on this.
No, don't worry about it. You get going. I don't like to edit you. You said it's the only thing they know what to do. Well, I contend it's a Band-Aid on the real problem. Inflation is caused by one thing: currency printing, inflating the currency. I know,
or
I know,
printing more because you decided to spend more.
or printing more, exactly in response to fiscal stimulus and all the
All the
political
nonsense that's coming
nonsense.
out of the United
Yes, right.
States Congress.
Now I know velocity factors into this, but at its core, that's the Austrian economic mindset here. It is inflating the money supply.
But at what pain?
Oh,
It
huge
made the
pain.
cost of cars go from $5,000 for a small compact car to $10,000 overnight.
The question is he going to allow that kind of pain to happen again?
If they do this, they have no choice. They're creating pain that we will not survive. They don't have any tools at the Fed. And the reason they don't have any tools is because we have a government that's saying, we're going to pay everybody's student loans. Okay. Now, what did Nancy Pelosi say about that? She said, well, number one, that's illegal. Okay. There's the implication that they don't have the votes to pass this. Okay. So what is she going to say? Oh, well, it's legal now, but we don't have the votes. I mean, this is the whole Congress is supposed to protect the value of the dollar, just like the Federal Reserve, and they're both out of control. Now, why do we have a Federal Reserve Bank? Well, it's to preserve the value of the dollar. And why have they never done that? Okay, they're out of control. The Fed's out of control. The Congress is out of control. Yeah, Congress has the right to spend money and raise taxes, but what are they doing? They're throwing money away and raising taxes. Throwing money away creates inflation. And that, we need to stop sending $40 billion or $60 billion to Ukraine, because that's going right to the oligarchs. Yep. None of it's going to these advanced weaponry systems, like they said. So what do we deliver them? 2 rockets. They fired those already, so now they want more. This is ridiculous.
Well, we have to stop throwing currency around. Period.
When you raise interest rates, you do a bunch of things. Okay, you kill commerce and you kill jobs. That's the other thing. You kill commerce and you kill jobs. Now let's suppose you try to we're at war with the fossil fuel industry, but we're going to raise interest rates to control inflation. It doesn't work anymore because they've got too many problems they're creating, and none of these solutions are going to work anymore. You can't destroy the biggest industry in this entire country, probably in the world. You can't destroy that industry and then raise interest rates until it's equal to inflation, and that'll stop the problem. Nothing stops these problems. They're creating more problems every day by the stupid things that they're doing. Raising interest rates kills commerce, and that kills jobs. But when you're at war with the fossil fuel industry, it's going to multiply. Now, here's the other industry that we have to consider. We're bringing in 2 million more people. We've already brought in 2 million more people into this country that think they're going to get jobs. Okay. That's not going to happen because somebody somewhere is going to say, listen, would you like your job back? Because I can't find anybody who actually speaks English to do your job. Well, yeah, but you're going to have to pay me at least $15 an hour. It's done. Okay. I mean, it's going to get that bad. And when these people who come across the border, after they get, a few $100s to tide them over, and a new iPhone, and some, medical care, and a guarantee to raise their children, then they're going to go looking for a job. And there ain't going to be any jobs, okay? So now what do these people do when they find out their living condition is actually worse here than it was in Mexico or whatever hellhole they came from? Well, there are 2 alternatives. You can turn to crime or leave. And I don't think they're going to leave. I think these people, they went through a lot to get here, but there's nothing here for them because we have a government that's destroying every industry one by one because they don't have enough common sense to do otherwise. And why Congress has fallen in line with these stupid ideas that come from the White House is, so far, it's been a mystery. But if now Nancy Pelosi decides to toe the line, where she said before, Well, it's illegal because only Congress can do that. We'll see what happens. But I guarantee you what's going to happen is they're going to sell this pay your student loans to every college kid in the country up until November 8th. And then they'll pull the rug out from under them.
And what's inflation going to do?
In the meantime, it's still going to pile up. And it's everything. It's everything. Because the price of gasoline went down below $4 a gallon. Oh, yeah. But once you've sold off your strategic petroleum reserves, what do you do then? Because now you have to buy those back at a much higher price. Well, we can just raise taxes again. No, you can't. That is the wrong solution, because that creates more problems.
Tim, you go to the magic money tree and you start printing more.
That doesn't work, because it's an obligation.
Of course it doesn't. Eventually it all falls in on itself.
I mean, the biggest failure of a country in modern times was Greece. Okay? They defaulted on $370 billion. Nancy Pelosi farts $370 billion every day. I mean, that's what's wrong. These people had no concept of reality.
I get it.
If Greece was a failure of a modern country, the biggest failure of a modern country in modern times, at $370 billion, what's our debt? 512 times that. And that's the current debt. I mean, seriously, we are so underwater. And the central bank's going to have a digital currency. Well, you can't have a central bank digital currency unless other central banks agree with your central bank digital currency, so that you can all speak on the same plane and everybody's using the same digital currency. Okay. Well, they may get the European Union. They may add that to, PAL's digital currency, whatever that is. But they'll work out the arrangements because they want to work on the same computers and they want to, cheat on the same debt. But you have the whole rest of the world out there where, 200 countries in the world? Is everybody going to be on this digital? Oh, well, we're not going to let Russia and China work that on digital currency.
They'll have their own.
Okay, but once you have a digital currency that is accepted by a few countries, then you no longer have a reserve currency, period. You don't need one. If you have central bank digital currencies, they're all compatible, they're all working together, you don't need a reserve currency, which means that trillions of dollars will come flying back to this country. Okay?
Yep.
Now, you think we have inflation now. These idiots are creating the worst inflation firestorm in the history of the world. And honestly, I don't think they're smart enough to avoid it.
I think the pressure, the political pressure, the pressure of the rank and file, Joe Sixpack, all the way through the halls of Congress, businesses, the hue and cry is going to be through the roof. We're talking, I think, pitchforks and torches against the Fed to stop raising rates, because we are going into a massive recession if this continues, far worse than the Great Recession.
Yep. Well, that's one of the reasons I got rid of all my loans in 2020. Everything. Don't owe anybody anything. And, it was obvious to me many years ago that the increase in interest rates was going to happen. It was going to happen soon.
We are seeing, I think, the air coming out. In fact, one of the indications, it's amazing. I just got something in the mail saying, hey, I'll give you, the bank was saying, we'll give you a CD for 2.5%. I quickly looked online. My bank, I could get 3% APY on a 12-month CD. Now, of course, you and I remember, 8, 10, 12, all that. But that's still pretty amazing considering what we've been getting up till now.
It is. And they'll go up to 4%, maybe 5%.
But at some point, this is not going to be...
There'll be a big gap between
the federal funds rate and yes.
Yeah, there'll be a big gap.
Yeah, I know. At some point, though, Tim, we're not going to be able to handle the interest rates, and it's going to blow up the bond market, the stock market, the real estate market.
Bond market get any worse than it is now?
Oh, gee. Yeah, actually it can. Yeah, it's horrible. But the real estate market, the air's already coming out of that.
It is, and I hope that all these people who spent, $500,000 and higher for their homes got fixed rates and not adjustable rates, because they were still available a year or two ago.
A lot of people are in adjustables.
Yep. People who are in adjustable rates are going to get nailed.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the millions and millions of people who are coming across our southern border. That's going to be a big problem. If I were the governor of Texas, I would be busing every single one of these people out of Texas, because wherever they go, the situation is going to be worse. And, it's why this president still says, well, we have to be compassionate. Tens of thousands of dead bodies is not compassion.
Wow. This is why I stack precious metals, Tim, as wealth insurance. I stack gold as a dollar crisis hedge, and I stack silver as a dollar collapse hedge. Those are the reasons. And that's why I want to buy them. In fact, do you have any gold?
Not unless you want to steal one from Delilah. And she wants another one. So guess what? Who takes preference over it?
Oh, why did I tell her to get the second gold coin? I got to watch what I say.
I still have the one from Grenada. Where is it? The one with the
gold
scuba diver?
Oh, that's... and you also have this, too. I noticed. What, the Morgans?
Yeah, they're all Morgans.
Did somebody come in and liquidate their Morgans?
It actually is a combination of several people.
This is an expensive way to stack constitutional silver, right?
Because the price is way, way above melt. They're more than American Eagles.
Wow. So, yeah, I understand why people love to collect them, though. But I wouldn't stack these. No. Wow, I got a lot of them, though. Man, if you're interested in filling out some Morgans, contact Tim. I'll put his information in the description below. Please, I get a lot of emails, DMs, and comments saying, "What's Tim's info?" It's in the description. You can't miss it. Give him a call. What are we looking at here?
I think that's nice.
Oh yeah, that is a beautiful piece of gold. Have you ever scuba dived?
Yeah, I used to. Oh gosh, when I was about 16, I used to wash the bottoms of racing sailboats. Get all the growth off the bottom, and then I had to wet sand them with sandpaper underwater, which creates clouds and clouds of fiberglass and paint. And the tank I used was a half-hour tank, a little tiny tank. And
half-hour tank.
And the work was horrendous. It was so difficult. But racing sailboats are usually larger than other sailboats, and there's a lot more that has to be cleaned off. And the alternative of having me go down there and do this, and have this stuff flowing in my face, and was pulling the boat out of the water and paying professionals to come in and clean the bottom and maybe give it a new coat of paint or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was too expensive. So they pay this kid who's willing to go down there and do that until the air runs out. And the air used to run out like every day.
Yep. This is more of a collector's item, and I need to be careful, or else I would be tempted to get something like this. If you're interested in it, give Tim a ring, because especially if you're a scuba diver, that is beautiful. Classic scuba diver.
Unfortunately, the buffaloes are spoken for.
All right. Well,
we went through so much gold in the last week. It's absolutely incredible how much we went through. And, when I get all the packages out the door, we'll be getting more. So.
All right, good. Speaking of the of sailing, I had a person ask me in the comments about that sailboat behind you.
Yeah.
What is that?
That is a 1922 John Alden designed fishing schooner. The fishing schooner was just a type, It has the fisherman's staysail at the top so that you can maintain your way when you pull the foresail down to load the nets into the center of the hull. That wasn't what that was. That was designed in 1922 as a racing sailboat. John Alden used to race in the Bermuda race from Newport to Bermuda and back. And that one was Malabar 3. He had, I believe, 16 Malabars. He would race and determine depending on how they did, he would make changes to the next design. And I think that one came in third in the Bermuda race. But it's a very old sailboat. That belonged to my father when I was growing up. I used to, in the summertime, I'd go out and sleep on the boat. I was like 10 or 12 years old. It was just, things were very different back then.
Wow.
And I think he finally sold that in maybe 1962. So we had it from 1958 to 1962.
Great memories on that boat, I bet.
Oh, yeah, it's terrific.
When was the last time you sailed?
Well, I had a sailboat I kept in Newburyport for a while. And then, after starting having kids, a lot of the toys went by the wayside.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I sold it more because the boat yard I kept it at was very well run. And the guy that ran it was very practical, a good hard worker. And he decided that, the walls were closing in. So he went and bought himself a Cessna 182, put pontoons on it. He learned how to, land it on the river down there, the Merrimack River, where the boatyard was. And then he took off and went to Alaska, sold the property, and everything changed. Sold it to a guy that felt that this is only a good way of making money and not necessarily a good way of taking care of people with sailboats. So